Hey, what's up guys, it's Thunderstruck115, and today I'm gonna be responding to the rest of Griffin Gaming's response to the Actman's Vanguard review, since y'all really seem to like the first part of that. I honestly wasn't sure if I'd respond to the rest of it because I was running out of patience for Griffin Gaming. So I just needed a few days to just sort of let my mind recuperate from the mental retardation I witnessed in that live stream. And also that video was kind of getting really long, so I didn't want to make it like 2 hours. So in the end, I think it's probably better that I ran out of patience when I did, because otherwise it would be one massive video, although the video is still really long. And since y'all really seem to like it, like it's my most popular video I've uploaded, and that's only after like a few days. And I got this comment from James GK. He said, "If you have the patience, respond to the multiplayer part. It was a very good commentary." Well, thank you for the kind comment, and thank everybody who is watching this for all your support. So, because y'all seem to want me to do so, I'll respond to the rest of his stream. Now, there is about a minute of content in that stream between where I left off last time and where I'm beginning this time, but Griffin just doesn't really have anything interesting or new to say on it, so I'm just gonna skip to where he skips to the multiplayer portion, so yeah. Let's go ahead and see what Griffin shat out for us.
What's this? Operators and lack of style?
Do anything better.
No! Our new dog model is taken from high-resolution scans of an actual SEAL team service dog.
Unfortunately, Vanguard is little more than a reskin of a reskinned Call of Duty.
So? It's COD. It's what COD's always been.
Start with the
No, not really. Usually, I can tell at a glance which COD is which. Okay, maybe the original Modern Warfare trilogy all look really similar to each other, but since it's the same sub-series, it has the reason to have the same art style. Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops Cold War, and Call of Duty Vanguard, however, look really similar to each other. And I really feel like they could have just made each one feel just a bit different. I mean, if it doesn't bother you, then it doesn't bother you, and hell, even I'll admit that it's a nitpick. But still.
operator system they keep shoving into Call of Duty. There is an impressive lack of personality and charm within the operators,
I don't know, bro. I like the Kami Mommy.
announcers, and style of the game. This is the most generic World War II game you have ever played.
What? No, it's not. This game doesn't even feel like a World War II game. How the fuck can you call it a generic World War II game when most of the guns don't even look like they're from fucking World War II? What?
Okay, I know this video is a response to Griffin Gaming, but I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a second to respond to the Actman directly. This game does not feel like a generic World War II game, because if it did, it would be a lot better than what Vanguard does. The issue isn't that it feels like a generic World War II game. The issue is that it doesn't feel like a World War II game, despite the fact that it claims it is on the back of the box. Griffin himself seems to realize that this World War II game doesn't feel like a World War II game. It's just he doesn't realize that that's precisely the issue.
No, when I think of like a generic World War II game, I think of something like fucking Medal of Honor or something. This is not a generic World War II game. Like, almost nothing about this game screams World War II at all. So I sat there with the 5. He couldn't find any problems with the multiplayer, so goes after zombies. That's like attacking a campaign in a battlefield all day. This take is awful. Yeah, it's like fucking Supernova saying that, you know, Battlefield having no campaign is like the end of the fucking world.
No, Griffin, it's not like the Battlefield campaigns. You and whoever put that in the chat are completely wrong about this. Now, I'm not a Battlefield fan, but from what I understand, not every Battlefield game has a campaign. I think, like, it's only added after, like, Bad Company 2, I believe, and then, like, some of them, even after that, didn't have them. Like, I know 2042 didn't. And even then, it was just a shoehorned-in campaign mode. Again, I'm not a Battlefield fan, so if any Battlefield fans are watching this, feel free to correct me. In the case of Call of Duty, however, zombies has been a big part of it since World at War. Or not even just zombies, but just the co-op mode that it has. Like, every single COD game since World at War has had some kind of co-op mode in it. Usually it's zombies. In fact, for all the Treyarch games, it is zombies. Modern Warfare 2, 3, and Modern Warfare 2019 had Spec Ops, and Ghosts also had Extinction. Not the same as Zombies, but it's the third mode, the co-op mode for those games, and those have been a staple of the series since World at War. Now, if this was only like a year or two after Zombies had released, then maybe you'd have a point. But by the time Vanguard came out, Zombies is legitimately a big reason why a lot of people buy Call of Duty. Good proof of this is that the Call of Duty Zombies subreddit has had more subscribers than the Black Ops 4 and the Black Ops Cold War subreddits. And Zombies has, prior to Vanguard, had a lot of love, care, and attention put into it. So no, it's not just an offshoot side mode. Also, maybe if you'd play the video further, you'd get to the Actman's criticism of the multiplayer. Just saying.
Now, it kind of worked in Cold War because that campaign was amazing and the characters were awesome and likable, even if they swapped out certain voice actors. I mean, you had no reason to play as anybody but Russell Adler, so, but there was content for their inclusion in the multiplayer. The problem with Vanguard is they throw in a bunch of characters you've never seen or heard before. The ones from the campaign aren't that great, and you just sit there looking at the others like, well, who the fuck is that?
Nobody cares, because almost no one plays the fucking campaign.
Where the fuck are you pulling that from? Griffin, I'm gonna need some numbers on this. Where the fuck are you getting this idea that nobody plays the COD campaigns? Now, if you said that nobody buys COD for the campaigns, well, okay, maybe that would be hyperbolic, but I could see what you mean. And I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that for most people, the campaign isn't the main selling point of the game, but most people that buy Call of Duty games at least try out the campaign at some point. Like, I know I primarily buy Call of Duty for Zombies and sometimes the multiplayer, but I mean, the campaign's included in the package, so usually I'll play it once for the story. Now, it's not something I'd go back to and replay because it doesn't have the staying power of something like, say, a Halo campaign or a Doom campaign, but it's enjoyable. But saying that nobody plays the campaign is just really ignorant.
Oh, watch a generic 1-minute scene to establish everything about them and their personality.
I would say 90% of people skip those cutscenes.
Doesn't work like that. Call of Duty's art style has been obliterated by its uninspired design, and
Generic World War II shooter, by the way. Let's see. So Zero with the 2, the Zombies felt like world. Oh wait, no, I read that. Fuck. God Howard with the 2. Can we watch Pete's 007 Swings 007's channel? We'll see. I don't know if we'll have time for it tonight. And Zero with the 2. What's your favorite COD campaign? I want to say this is gonna be tough. I would say probably Modern Warfare 3 overall. But I love Modern Warfare 2's campaign. I love Call of Duty Ghosts campaign. I love Advanced Warfare's campaign. And I actually really like Infinite Warfare's campaign. And Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1's really fucking fire. And World at War. A lot of the old COD campaigns.
If there's anything that a fanboy is able to do well, it's to contradict themselves, and Griffin, being a really big fanboy, manages to contradict a statement that he said not even a fucking minute ago. Remember when Griffin said this a minute ago?
Because most people don't fucking play the campaign, bro.
So, according to Griffin, nobody plays the campaigns in Call of Duty, yet he just rattled off a ton of older COD campaigns that he really likes. It's fucking ironic, too, because Griffin Gaming is usually the kind of person to roast this kind of behavior.
Overindulgence in microtransactions. It's an amalgamation of various trends copied from other successful IPs. Heroes that have nowhere near the personality of those in Overwatch. Cosmetic bundles from anime shows. In a World War II game.
Okay, once again, responding to the Actman, not necessarily Griffin, I don't think the cosmetics are really the issue. I don't really take issue with cosmetics in the multiplayer for a COD game. No, the issues that breaks the historical setting of Vanguard is something else entirely, which Actman will actually get to later.
And just does World War II. Again.
They didn't... Bro, this game is not just world... Like, oh my god. Nothing about this game screams generic World War II. Sorry. Like, this is completely fucking different than World War II. It looks nothing like World War II. If they did not plaster World War II on the fucking marketing material for this game, you would have no fucking idea when it was actually set.
So, according to you, Griffin, they marketed COD Vanguard as a World War II game when it's not a World War II game. In other words, you are once again accusing Activision of false advertising. And listen, the fact that this game constantly breaks the immersion of being in World War II despite being marketed as a realistic take on World War II is kind of the fucking problem.
In true apathetic fashion, Vanguard recycles its monetized content across all operators. Almost every single intro and finishing highlight animation is reused across all operators.
So you can use the items you unlock no matter which character you use? Isn't this the same dude that complained that you can't use all cosmetic options on all armor cores in Halo Infinite? So now he's complaining that you can use all, cosmetic items across all operators?
Finally, Griffin makes an actual point to refute the Act Man. That's the second time this stream? The only other point he made was about the content, which, admittedly, I think I gave to him just a bit too easily. Since then, I actually looked at the amount of content in the game, and, well, it'll come up later. I guarantee it.
Blending them all together better than their bland personalities ever could.
Who fucking cares? It's a fucking emote. Why would they lock that to one character?
Shouldn't each character have, their own cool, unique intro?
Bro, I'm sorry if Battlefield 1 is your favorite game of all time. That's kind of sad. Battlefield 4 is so much better.
When the fuck did he say that Battlefield 1 was his favorite game of all time? He said he really liked the game, but he never said it was his favorite of all time. Unless you were responding to somebody in the chat, but I've been looking at the chat for the past minute leading up to this, and I have not seen anybody say that Battlefield 1 was their favorite game in the chat. Also, just because you don't like a game doesn't mean other people can't.
Hey, remember when World War II happened and there was no other faction besides the British and a ragtag group of generic special operators all fighting in a playground for fun? Remember how World War II had no Germans, Japanese, Russians, French, Polish, or United States soldiers anywhere on the battlefield? You remember when my team fought the enemy team?
My team? Enemy team? Those are the factions. Grandpa, can you tell me about your team? How you fought for your team in World War II? Yes, my team. Look at my glorious team. And the enemy team. We didn't know anything about them, just that they were the enemy.
In true apathetic fashion, Sledgehammer has removed all of the factions and flair of a World War II video game in their World War II video game. Part of what made Call of Duty cool was the different factions, even if it had no effect on gameplay. It was flair, it was context, right? You're playing as the Navy SEALs, or the OP4, or maybe the Rangers, you know?
I'm just gonna say, man, I never gave a single fuck of who I got to play as, name-wise, in any of the Call of Duty games, unless I was, playing as the motherfuckers that would, scream, what the fuck was, Rocco Deep or whatever the fuck? I don't know what the actual voice line was, but unless I was, playing as the, foreign motherfuckers that would, scream out the random call-outs and some shit you couldn't understand, That was the only reason I gave a fuck about what team I was on. Other than that, like, I don't fucking care.
You literally just gave a reason as to why you cared, and now you're saying you don't care. Having these factions present helps with immersing the player in the setting of World War II or whatever setting that COD game is set in. It was the same in the Modern Warfare games when you had like the Rangers versus the Spetsnaz or whatever. Having a World War II shooter but making the factions my team and enemy team is fucking retarded.
I was never like, oh my god, bro, Rangers lead the way, let's fucking go, boy. Like, yeah, nah, that was not me, dude.
Rangers lead the way.
This is like some corny fucking RP type shit.
Mission accomplished. Good work.
You got that sick ass music at the
Yeah,
beginning.
Granada and fucking Favela, yeah.
Team deathmatch. Take no prisoners, comrades.
That's just some British guy who's like, oi, make sure you save some crumpets and tea for me after you shoot that guy's head off.
Team deathmatch. Subdue all threats. Use all your senses. Sight, sound, touch, smell, and gun.
Oh my god, that was...
I mean, he's literally complaining that they didn't go the generic World War II route after saying it's a generic World War II shooter. Like, having it be like the British versus the fucking Nazis or the Japanese versus the Americans would literally be a cookie-cutter World War II shooter. So, by his own definition, it's not a World War II shooter.
No, he's complaining that this game that is supposed to be a World War II shooter does not feel like it's set in World War II. Admittedly, he did contradict what he said earlier about it being a generic World War II shooter, but I mean, I've already responded to that statement, so I'm not going to rehash myself here.
And especially not cookie cutter. And Groovy Pan with the 2 next year, they should have all nominees fight to the end. Yo, I think you said that earlier, right? Or did that just pop up again? Shit. El Rosario Soul with the 2. I wish Halo Infinite had emotes. Yeah, same here, man. I do too.
I hate this guy. Nothing against the Brits, but why is there only one fucking announcer for the whole multiplayer? If you want to be so inclusive, maybe hire a Japanese voice actor to voice the Japanese faction.
Why is he saying it like Japanese? Like, bro, just say Japanese.
It's called emphasis.
Unite for the glory of Japan!
Oh, but we can't do that because we have to have these generic operators to sell skins and dumbass animations that aren't even finished and voice lines that suck. And none of this really falls in line with a specific country or group, so we'll just get rid of groups and factions entirely. Fuck you.
So it's not a generic World War II shooter, got it.
Extra credits should not have gotten a W from their terrible video that was a joke to everyone, and you actually listened to them.
There you are, playing the PvP in your World War II shooter, and all of a sudden, you're a Nazi.
Oh god, I remember that horrible fucking video by Extra Credits. But you know what makes this situation even more ironic? Griffin himself actually responded to that video. But now he seems to take no issue with it. Like, the fuck? Griffin, I think you need to take the advice of Crap Gamer and
keep that same energy.
You see that little Empire of Japan flag? It's flair. I don't care if the announcer sounds like a stereotype. He's supposed to. I'm playing as the Japanese. Call of Duty and games in general are never going to be perfect when it comes to historical accuracy.
Do not pray for easy lives, my friends. Pray to be stronger men.
But older CODs always seem to have a respect for that history and understand it. Plus, the weapon designs weren't so outlandish that the guns became unrecognizable, even with attachments.
Yeah, in Modern Warfare. But Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 4... What else? Shit, I'm trying to think. Infinite Warfare. All the futuristic CODs, the weapon designs were extremely unrealistic.
well, yeah, the weapons in the COD games you named aren't based on historical models. Because they're not based on historical time periods. They're literally set in the fucking future. So no shit, they're gonna create new weapon designs. But every Call of Duty game that takes place in a historical setting either uses guns from that time period or creates weapons based off of guns from that time period. Like, for example, Black Ops Cold War, a lot of the guns in there aren't actual guns, but they're based off of weapons from that time period, likely to avoid licensing fees with the actual weapon manufacturers. Point being, they fit within the time period and were enough for me to suspend my disbelief and keep me immersed in the time period. As for other historical COD games, that being World at War, World War II, Black Ops 1, etc., they use guns from the historical time period. And hell, even the Modern Warfare games uses guns from, well, modern times. But when your game is set in the future, then unless you somehow have the ability to fucking time travel, you're gonna have to make up your own designs based on what the future would look like.
Vanguard's base weapon models look amazing. So sleek, shiny, highly detailed, might be the best looking World War II guns I've ever seen. Until you start putting stuff on them.
Who fucking care? Oh my god.
Oh my god, guys. In real life, you wouldn't be able to put that level of zoom scope on a Tommy machine gun. It would affect the accuracy so badly that you wouldn't really be able to...
Like, shut the fuck... Dude, this type of shit is beyond fucking corny. It's a video game. No one fucking cares if they didn't have a drum mag in World War II for a fucking pistol. If you want realism, go play some fucking war simulator and nerd the fuck out. No one cares about that shit in Call of Duty.
Is this really how far you've fallen, Griffin? Just taking what the other person said and just repeating it in the retarded sounding voice? Come on, Griffin. You and I both know you are capable of more clever and creative insults than that. That's why I subscribed to you in the first place. And your point that nobody cares about this in Call of Duty is just straight up wrong. Because if nobody truly cared about historical accuracy in Call of Duty games, then why did they go so far out of their way to respect that history in previous COD games? Was there some exaggeration? Yeah, there definitely was. I mean, it's a video game. But it wasn't so ridiculous as to shatter the immersion. Like, obviously, in the real-life World War II, people didn't go completely sicko mode and, like, Rambo a bunch of people. But it's a video game. I'd expect it from a video game. However, both previous Call of Duty games, and a bunch of other games, for that matter, actually at least attempt to respect the history. So even if it isn't one-to-one, it's believable enough to keep the player immersed. While in Call of Duty Vanguard, the stuff that you can put on the guns is so outrageous that it shatters that immersion. Like, I am not a gun expert, but even I know that the M1 Garand is a gun that you load by putting a cartridge into the top of the weapon. Yet in COD Vanguard, you can attach a drum mag to the fucking bottom. I'm not saying that they can't have an attachment that increases the amount of ammo you have before you have to reload, but they could contextualize it so much better. Also, where are you getting this statement that nobody cares about this when I've seen numerous people online complaining about it? A more accurate statement is you don't care, and if you don't care, that's fine, but that doesn't mean everyone else is wrong for caring.
Holy fuck.
Alright, we'll pause there. There's just going to be a lot of pained wincing going on.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna physically pain me to see a gun with a scope that didn't exist yet.
Like, shut the this is the corniest motherfucker on planet Earth, bro. Touch some fucking grass, you absolute loser.
Please, touch some grass.
Says the guy who's literally having a mental breakdown over Call of fucking Duty. Motherfucker, the only person who needs to be touching grass in this situation is your ass. You wanna know who that person is that you just described as a corny motherfucker? He is an actual weapons expert. Like, that's his actual job title. And what about you, Griffin? What are you? You do YouTube for a living, you scrape by based on the few people who are actually willing to donate to your streams. Maybe before you call someone a loser, maybe, I don't know, do 20 seconds to figure out who that person is. And hell, the only reason that he's looking at the guns in COD Vanguard is because GameSpot probably paid him to do it, so if anything, you should direct your criticism towards them. Also, if you think that playing that clip of Dreamcast guy saying to touch some grass is funny, I got news for you, it's not.
In this review, wow, where to start? So this is clearly somewhere in a past life a Browning BAR M1918A2. You can tell
What are
from
they
the
gonna do
magazine
to it?
guides, even if all the other features have been altered by some sadistic maniac. The Egyptian / East German / Polish-esque AK wire folding buttstock makes me cry a little inside. God, I think this is a Garand. What have they done to you? I can hear John Cancius Garand revolving in his grave.
Reddit chuckles r/weaponry. Holy fuck, dude, this is such a neckbeard fedora tip moment. Like, yeah, dude, I bet the guy who made this gun is turning over in his grave.
Ironically, the only one who's acting like a fedora-tipping neckbeard in this situation is you, Griffin. Like, he's going full retard mode because somebody is criticizing COD Vanguard, a game which is trying to be a historical World War II shooter for not being historical. Griffin, I think you need to take your own advice from a minute ago and
touch some fucking grass, you absolute loser. Holy fuck, man. I just could only imagine being this sad that you look for realism in a fucking COD game.
We're not looking for realism in a COD game, we're looking for immersion. Maybe if Call of Duty games that were set in historical time periods didn't have a history of being immersive, we wouldn't have a problem. Like, if they went for, like, a fantasy or alternate history version of World War II, something like Red Alert or Wolfenstein, maybe we wouldn't have a problem. And again, if older Call of Duty games hadn't gone so far out of their way to respect history, we wouldn't have a problem. The thing is, games like World at War, Black Ops 1, all the COD games prior to COD 4, Black Ops Cold War, hell, even Call of Duty World War II to some extent, all managed to have a baseline respect for that history. And I suppose you could also throw in the Modern Warfare games, although it's not really so much history as much as it is contemporary, but same difference. Vanguard, however, does not have that same respect for history, which is the point that the Act Man is trying to get across.
Probably more efficiently than this drum mag revolves.
This is why I think Vanguard should have gone for an alternate reality World War II setting. Because then they could do all of this and it would make sense. It wouldn't feel out of place.
Yeah, what is with these sites, dude? Tell me. Someone tell me what these sites are all about. I need answers.
What are they about? They're red dot sites, bro. They've been in almost every single Call of Duty game to ever exist.
Yeah, they were in almost every Call of Duty game to ever exist. But you know which Call of Duty games they weren't in? The ones that were set in World War II prior to this one. World at War did not have a red dot sight, and neither did COD World War II. Now, both of those games had similar attachments which achieved the same effect in gameplay. Like, World at War had the aperture sight, and Call of Duty World War II had the lens sight. Both of those achieve the same effect in gameplay as the red dot sight does in the Call of Duty games that have them, that being a sight that offers a better field of view, but it's contextualized in a way that makes sense for a game that's set in World War II. Call of Duty Vanguard could have done the same thing and there wouldn't be a problem.
This is not what my grandpa told me about World War II.
Like,
Wow, dude, your grandpa didn't tell you about Call of fucking Duty and the Grandpa, I think you're full of shit, dude. Why the fuck didn't you mention Viktor Reznov planting the Soviet flag on top of the Nazi Capitol building, you fucking lying piece of shit? Like, what the fuck?
Has Griffin never heard of the concept of historical fiction? Like, obviously, the plot to the campaign didn't happen exactly as it did in real life, because, again, at the end of the day, it is a video game, it's meant to be entertaining. The thing is, though, not once has the Actman brought up the plot to the campaign, at least not yet. He's talking about immersion in the setting of World War II. You absolute shit for brains.
Bro! Oh my god. Oh. Jesus Christ, bro. This is sad. It's fucking COD, dude. It's literally Call of Duty.
Having red dot sights. Excuse me?
And pause again there because we have one of the...
Grandpa, what the fuck do you mean that you didn't have 25 magazines of fully loaded ammunition on you, and when you walked over a dead body, 16 more appeared in your fucking backpack? You're full of shit.
Oh my god. Dude, it's fucking COD.
And he's strawmanning again. The Actman isn't even talking about the fucking gameplay mechanics right now. In fact, I don't think he ever brings up the gameplay mechanics in regards to the immersion. He's talking about the attachments on the fucking guns. And really, of all the gameplay mechanics you could have chosen for the strawman argument, why this one? Because I'm pretty sure that in the actual real-life World War II, soldiers who walked over the dead body of someone who has the same gun as them would have the ability to pick up the ammo for that weapon and put it in their backpack. Now, would they actually do this? Maybe. Again, I'm not an expert, but it's certainly fucking possible. Point being, it doesn't have to be a one-to-one representation of World War II, it just needs to be believable enough to keep the player immersed in the setting and keep the game fun. Wait a minute. I swear I've heard that argument somewhere before. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. I swear to God.
There you are, playing the PvP in your World War II shooter.
Oh my god, here we go. It's the same retarded-ass argument that all the EA shills used for Battlefield 5, and honestly, it's just as retarded now. No one wants a one-to-one historically accurate portrayal in a historic shooter. We just want the experience to be believable enough to be fun and immersive. I mean, that's...
Would you look at that?
These heinous optical sights. I'm not sure what it looks like. It's tiny. I mean, we can barely make optical sights as with a field of
Bruh lost all respect for you. That's okay, man. I don't really care.
view.
Somehow I highly doubt that. If you really didn't care, I doubt you'd pick that chat message out of all the other ones to respond to.
Like this now, so we certainly didn't have them in the 1940s.
Okay, so now that I've established...
If you lose respect for me over Call of Duty, then yeah, I don't need your respect.
Vanguard's lack of...
In fact, I think I'm better off without it.
The reason he lost respect for you isn't because you have a different opinion than him on Call of Duty. The reason he lost respect for you is because you're bitching and moaning about someone else's opinion on Call of Duty. One that the Actman is supporting with actual arguments, while you are having a mental breakdown because you cannot think of any actual arguments to refute it. I doubt he would have lost respect for you if either A, you could just agree to disagree with the Actman, or if you actually refuted the Actman's points with actual arguments. But you are doing neither of those things. You are literally fucking seething that someone dares to have a different opinion than you on a fucking video game. If you cannot see why that is pathetic, I am sorry, but there is no hope for you.
Identity and style. Let's check the gameplay. There is a certain amount of fun you can get playing Vanguard if you're new to the franchise and have nothing better to play.
Griffin, present an actual argument. Okay, here's my actual argument. You're a fucking mouth-breathing retard if you're looking to a Call of Duty game to be an accurate representation of World War II. Or any video game for that matter. There you go.
It should be obvious at this point.
There is an actual argument. Debate me on that. Please.
point, but my
I love the fact that his chat is turning on him now. And you can hear Griffin getting very defensive to the point where he insults his own fucking audience. And is it just me, or does it sound like he's about to fucking cry? As for what he actually said, again, no one's asking for realism, they're just asking for immersion. Something that older Call of Duties did really well, but Vanguard fails to do.
exact same complaints about Cold War looking and feeling identical to Modern Warfare are true here. It's the same shit, different disc. This is basically a World War II skin for Modern Warfare. It's the same World War II weapons you've used 100 times before, with the same mechanics. I guess now you can blind fire, but it's pretty pointless. They added a few new perks post-launch, which is nice, but besides that, everything is stuff you've seen before. Same kill streaks, perks, same attachments, it's the same game. Do what Ghost did with the perk system. I don't care. Just switch it up for...
Using insults means you already lost. Where'd you hear that one, dude? Twitter? Congrats, man. I can fucking parrot a bunch of bullshit little talking points that I hear on the internet, too.
So what if he found it on Twitter? Listen, I don't like Twitter either. I really don't. A lot of the people there are fucking retards. But there is some truth to that statement. Given your style of content, Griffin, I think a better way to phrase that would be when insults are literally the only thing you're using and you're not making actual points, you know you've lost the argument. Which is exactly what's going on right now. I mean, I guess you tried to make a point when you said that people shouldn't expect realism from video games, but any goodwill you might have scored with that is immediately canceled out by the fact that nobody is asking for fucking realism, or only a very small minority of people are, when in reality, the Actman and the vast majority of other people are asking for immersion.
McSwizzy with the 2, watch Saul Goodman Venom video, it's 8 seconds. Alright, yeah, let me copy it real quick. Oh, fuck, the chat's moving. Fuck, bro, quit moving. Alright, there we go. Yeah, we'll watch after this.
For God's sake. Now, at its core, the gameplay is, it's playable. There's some crazy movement. It's a lot more fast-paced than Modern Warfare and Cold War. But the thing that killed this game for me in less than 2 days is the complete lack of any innovation. I made this video on Halo 5 like 5 years ago, and it should not be relevant. Why is there this stunning lack of variety at release every...
What? A stunning lack of variety. So, how many game modes does Vanguard have? Like, 8? 9? I don't fucking know. But let's just go with 8.
There's 7. Team Deathmatch, Free-for-All, Domination, Kill Confirmed, Search and Destroy, Hardpoint, and Patrol. Kinda odd that you get this detail wrong in a game you're simping over and is supposedly your most played COD.
That means there are 24 variants of the game modes in Vanguard on day 1. With 2 times the normal amount of launch maps. The fuck do you mean there's not variety in this game? You literally can play every single map on 8 different game modes, and then each of those 8 different game modes can be played in 3 different pacing modes. That's like, what type of variety are you looking for at that point? Like, the game has a shit ton of guns, it has a bunch of maps, it has a decent amount of game modes, and every single one of those game modes has 3 different variants to it. What do you mean there's a lack of variety? Like, what else do you need in that situation?
Okay, so in the part 1 to my response to Griffin Gaming, I remember he brought this up when Actman said something about this in the intro, and I actually gave Griffin some credit because he actually made a point. But since then, I actually went back, looked a bit deeper into what all that content amounted to, and now that I have, I can easily say that Griffin's exaggerating. So, Griffin, if we're talking about the regular multiplayer, there were 16 maps at launch. And there's 4 for the Champion Hill mode, which is basically Vanguard's equivalent to Fire Teams in Black Ops Cold War, if I'm reading this correctly, where it tries tries to fuse regular multiplayer gameplay as well as the gameplay of Warzone. It tries to be both and succeeds at neither. Granted, I could be wrong on the actual quality because I haven't actually played Champion Hill mode, but my point being that's separate from the regular multiplayer. For the regular multiplayer, there's only 16 maps. On what fucking planet is that twice the amount of regular launch maps? Hell, even if you include the Champion Hill maps, that's still not twice the amount. Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 each launched with 16 maps for the multiplayer, same as COD Vanguard, again not including Champion Hill. World at War had 13 maps at launch. Black Ops 1 and 2 both had 14 maps at launch, not including Nuketown 2025 in the case of Black Ops 2 since that was a DLC map originally. Ghosts had 14 maps at launch. Advanced Warfare had 13. Black Ops 3 had 12. Call of Duty World War II had 9 maps, not counting the War mode. Black Ops 4 had 14 maps. Modern Warfare 2019 had 10 maps for the regular multiplayer. There were also 7 maps for the gunfight mode and 3 for the ground war, but those are kind of separate from the regular multiplayer. And Black Ops Cold War launched with 8 regular multiplayer maps and 2 for the Fireteam mode. So really, the only Call of Duty game that Vanguard has twice the amount of maps of at launch is Black Ops Cold War. And I suppose I could see you saying that for COD World War II if you want to round the numbers a bit finicky. But I don't think that means that Vanguard had a particularly high map count at launch compared to what Call of Duty usually has. In fact, I think a better way to put it is it just shows you how little content COD World War II and Black Ops Cold War had. Now, is 16 maps at launch still really good? Yeah, I'd say it is, assuming the maps themselves are good. Can't really speak myself for what the quality of the maps are, because I only played a few matches at a friend's house. But saying it has twice the amount of maps that Call of Duty usually has is a complete fucking lie. Even if we do include the Champion Hill maps. The combat pacings that you mentioned, I looked up what those amounted to, and all it changes are the amount of players in each match. Now don't get me wrong, it sounds like a cool feature, and I would like to see it implemented in future COD games, but is changing the amount of players really variety? I mean, I guess it is to an extent, but I do not think that it triples the amount of content in the game. Even if every combat pacing worked on every map, which, by the way, it's actually been confirmed that it doesn't. For example, if you want to play Search and Destroy on the tactical pacing option, you only have 5 maps. You have Numa Numa, Desert Siege, Castle, Paradise, and Radar. Meaning, you cannot play every map on every combination of mode and combat pacing. Additionally, some of the smaller maps can't be played on the Blitz pacing. See what I mean? Choosing different combat pacing segregates the map selection even further. I mean, granted, previous COD games didn't have this combat pacing system, but they did have Ground War, and playing Ground War, as far as I know, did not lock you out of playing certain maps, and you weren't locked out of certain maps by choosing to not play Ground War either. Maybe if you could play every map and mode on every combat pacing, you'd have a point. And speaking of the modes, well, I listed all 7 modes in the regular multiplayer earlier. Of the 7, there's only one new one, that being Patrol, which is literally just hardpoint with a moving hardpoint. Which, I mean, sounds like a cool idea, don't get me wrong. But that's the only new mode, and since there's not really much variety in the returning modes either, that's kind of a problem. Like, the lack of new modes would have been a lot easier to swallow if there were a bunch more returning modes from older COD games, but we basically just got the bare essentials here. There's no headquarters, no demolition, no capture the flag, no gun game, no sticks and stones, no sabotage, and none of those kind of funky modes like something like Drop Zone from Modern Warfare 3, Blitz from Ghosts, no Momentum from World at War and Advanced Warfare. No multi-team from Black Ops 2. I'm not saying they have to implement every single mode from previous COD games, but only 7 modes is not a lot, especially when you look at what Call of Duty has done previously. So when you combine all this together, it means that on paper, Vanguard has a lot of variety, but in practice, it really doesn't. To be fair, you actually did try to make a point with this one, and I will give you that. But when you scrutinize the fact of the matter, you'll realize that it's not quite as big of a point against the Act-Man as you might have hoped. Oh, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but there's also no map voting, which is a feature that every previous Call of Duty game besides Modern Warfare 2019 had.
Like, I'm genuinely kind of curious about that. Like, what massive amount of, like, variety could be added from there on out? So let's see. Print stick figure with the 2. Motherfucker forgot it's an alternate universe version of World War II. Bro, I don't even care about that. It's COD. Like, if you're looking for a Call of Duty game to be realistic or a representation of history, you're probably one of the motherfuckers that falls into the boat of thinking that Assassin's Creed is historically accurate. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, to the random dude in the chat that say he forgot that it's an alternate history World War II, where the fuck does it say it's an alternate history World War II? I'm genuinely curious. Because the game was marketed as being a realistic take on World War II. What part of that spells alternate universe? As for Griffin talking about historical accuracy, I've already responded to that several times. I'm not going to bother rehashing myself here, because this video is already too long anyway.
Shicky with the 15, to be honest, I don't think it's his fault. He's just doing his job. He's a weapon expert. It's just GameSpot. These kind of videos is easy for them. Yeah, I guess. I still think it's fucking corny as fuck. Soy Boy with the 2, realism in video games doesn't work. Yeah, it's terrible. Who the fuck wants to get shot once in a game and die? Sounds awful. You never fucking respawn. Like, alright, man, just picked up this new World War II simulator. Oh, fuck, I got shot, died. Well, game over. Time to get rid of it. Like, I can never play it again because I'm fucking dead.
Okay, dude, when he's talking about respect for history and historical accuracy, he's talking about the setting and being immersed in World War II. He's not talking about the fucking gameplay mechanics, moron.
Or, oh shit, dude, my gun fucking jammed.
I don't know, I really like Far Cry 2, even though it had the weapon jamming mechanic. In fact, I actually think it added to the game.
Or, oh fuck, dude, my magazines fell out of my backpack when I had to duck for cover. Or, shit, I lost sight in my left eye when I got hit with shrapnel. Like, nobody wants a realistic experience when they're playing a fucking video game. You just want to play to have fun. And people playing Call of Duty are not looking for realism or a historically accurate setting. They're just looking to have some fucking fun with that shit. And a story.
Once again, if older Call of Duty games didn't have a history of respecting history, then maybe this wouldn't be a fucking problem. God, I feel like a fucking broken record.
Every single time.
Like Domination. I played Domination, dog. I played it in every single Call of Duty ever made. Give me a new fun mode or something.
You added some weird Battle Royale replacement that you specifically neuter because you don't want it competing with Warzone. You added this pacing thing, which simply means you can play the same maps and modes with different amounts of players. Hardly a revolution. Get this. The biggest and pretty much only new addition to Vanguard's multiplayer is King of the Hill, but the hill moves constantly. That's it. That's all you have. That's all you can do. Patrol.
What kind of a man are you? You're worthless and weak. You do nothing. You are nothing.
Even if you don't want to branch out and try new modes, fine. But at least throw in as many old modes as you can. What about tanks or capture the flag? Demolition? Cranked? You know, call.
I stand by my stance that I said in Halo Infinite. Capture the flag should never be in another video game from here on out. Capture the flag is fucking awful, bro. No game has ever been made better by having Capture the Flag in it. That's all I'm gonna fucking say.
Oh, you know, except Quake, Halo, Titanfall, Team Fortress, Unreal Tournament, and older Call of Duty games. But nah, never mind the fact that those games were made better by having a CTF mode, which many people enjoy. No game in the future should ever have Capture the Flag. So declares Lord Griffin Gaming from the mountaintop. Like, at least in the case of Halo Infinite, like you mentioned, at least that makes sense, because if you want to play Capture the Flag, it's lumped in with a bunch of other modes that you can only play by those grab bag playlists, unlike older Call of Duty games, for example, where each game mode has its own dedicated playlist. So if, say, you wanted to play Oddball, but not Capture the Flag, well, you have a chance of playing Capture the Flag anyway, even if you just wanted to play Oddball. Every Call of Duty, though, lets you just either include Capture the Flag in your search results, or, in the case of Vanguard, exclude it because you can untick the box, or, well, rather it would if it was in the game. Which means even if they did add it to Vanguard, you could just untick the box if you didn't want to play it. Meanwhile, the people that do like it could play it.
Call of Duty 3 had a one flag mode. Why don't you make asymmetric objective maps? Why don't you innovate? Why don't you listen? It's all perspective, right? I mean, COD World War II's war mode was trash, but at the very least, you could build a bridge.
Keep the enemy from building the bridge. The enemy is building a bridge. The bridge is being built. The bridge is half built. The enemy is building a bridge. Stop the enemy from building that bridge. They're building a bridge!
Like, I played the war mode probably more than all of Vanguard's multiplayer. Why? Because it was different. Because even if it was just a shameless ripoff of Operation...
Yeah, but most people don't play COD multiplayer for something different. They play to hop on like Domination, Team Deathmatch, and Search and Destroy. That's the reason why those are like always the most popular game modes.
And where are you getting those numbers exactly? I mean, yeah, Team Deathmatch and Domination, if you look at the player counts, are the most popular game modes. But even in the more unique game modes, there was always still quite a lot of people playing them. Point being, I can keep playing Cold War's multiplayer for another year, and I'm not really missing out on anything. But like the Ackman said about the war mode, I actually spent more time in the war mode than I did in the rest of the multiplayer because it was so different and interesting. I understand not every player is like that, but there is a good sizable chunk of people who are.
From Battlefield, it had some novelty. Call of Duty is a factory line production.
I don't know, man. Capture the Flag has never been a hit for me. Especially in Infinite, bro. That shit was awful. Like, you get on one of those big maps like Behemoth or, what is it, Launch Site? Bro, Capture the Flag is like fucking literal ass cancer.
Where imagination and creativity go to die.
Apathy is death.
They even fucked up the care package too. Remember in Black Ops 4 sometimes the care package just wouldn't work? Well, now the damn thing comes flying at you 70 miles per hour. You have no idea where it's going to land, and it takes 10 seconds to be...
Alright, HC Street, name one game that can pull off Capture the Flag. Please, let me know. I have yet to find one.
Be able to redeem it. I will say, with 100% honesty, I think Vanguard's maps are pretty good, individually. When looking at them all together, it's not a unique package, but...
So all of them are good, but together they're... What? Alright, so how the fuck can you say, like, they have good game or like good maps overall in this game, and then say, but then when you look at them all together, they're not? Excuse me? How the fuck does that work?
Admittedly, maybe the Act Man could have phrased it better, but a good example of this is Black Ops 4. Let's take the map Sunset, for example. It's a small 3-lane map. It's pretty good. Map is generally well designed and I have fun playing it. So, clearly, good map. But when you look at Black Ops 4 as a whole, and you realize that for the exception of Militia and the ones returning from previous games, all of the other maps are also small 3-lane maps with not much connectivity, and they all play almost identically, it means that the package as a whole doesn't have a lot of variety. It would be like if you had a bunch of maps like Nuketown. Nuketown's a good map, but if all you have are maps similar to Nuketown, then you're gonna get bored pretty quickly. But thankfully, there's also other maps in older Call of Duty games. You had longer range maps like Wasteland from Modern Warfare 2, or Turbine from Black Ops 2. You had maps that connected in interesting ways with standoff. You had that big-ass street and plenty of building combat. You had Launch, which was a bit more open. Summit, which played with verticality. You see what I mean?
They play well. They offer...
TF2, yeah, I don't play TF2, so I wouldn't know. But I'll take your word for it. So a game that came out 16 years ago had good Capture the Flag. And nothing since. Got it.
Some cool little strategies, and surprisingly, the destructible environments do something. You know, sometimes you can get a good angle on another player or a sightline just by strategically destroying cover. I like seeing Call of Duty play around with these types of ideas. I just wish they would have taken it a step further. At the very least, Vanguard can be fun if you use a shotgun. You want to know my biggest problem? It's the movement. Everyone runs around like they're cranked. Like Arthur Kingsley just snorted G Fuel before the match. At some point in its lifespan, Call of Duty decided that making decisions and using your brain was too boring for the 7-year-old toddlers that begged their mommy to buy them the next Call of Duty. So with the exception of Modern Warfare 2019, since Black Ops 3, the series has slowly transformed into a pacifier. You put it in your mouth, suck on it, and bite. But you don't think about what it is you're doing. It's simply pacifying you. What was once a tactical yet simple first-person
Yeah, running around the map spamming shotguns in Modern Warfare 2 and 3 was not exactly what I would describe as tactical, but okay.
shooter has become a thoughtless run-and-gun arcade game.
What? Yo, Call of Duty has always been a run-and-gun arcade game. The fuck? That's why everybody loved it.
Just keep this clip in mind, folks, because in a minute it's going to be very important.
Oh no. Come on, man. I need that Joe Biden sound clip. Dude, Call of Duty has always been a run-and-gun arcade game. What the fuck are you talking about?
Some decisions made for Modern Warfare don't make any sense here. Unlimited sprint and tactical sprint. In Modern Warfare, the maps were bigger. You moved slower. It made sense. Now you can just zoom around a corner. When the time to kill is so fast, the maps are small, and everyone runs around like Usain Bolt.
Nah, dude, real life doesn't have a good capture the flag mode. Real life has a good capture the bag mode.
Get your money up, not your funny up.
Hell yeah. But yeah, dude, Call of Duty has always been an arcade shooter.
You find yourself not thinking at all about how to engage the enemy.
That is not true at all.
Rainbow.
Yo, Call of Duty has always been a run-and-gun arcade game. The fuck? That's why everybody loved it.
So right now, you're saying that you are supposed to put in thought as to how you approach the enemy, and that this game does it. But not even a fucking minute ago, you just said that Call of Duty is just a mindless run-and-gun arcade shooter. I mean, yeah, it is a run-and-gun fast-paced game, but older Call of Duty games had some thought as to how you approach the enemy, where you move on the map, what weapons you pick, what attachments you pick, you know, meaningful decisions.
Rainbow Six Siege is like the extreme version of this tactical shooter style, but Call of Duty used to be the more approachable, streamlined version of that with respawns.
Did this dude really just describe Call of Duty as Rainbow Six Siege with respawns?
He described it as being more approachable than Rainbow Six Siege, meaning that you still have meaningful decisions and you still need to put in some thought as to how you approach the enemy, but you don't have to sweat your balls off doing so like you have to do in Siege.
What? No. Come on, dude, no. Absolutely fucking not. This dude's playing like a little fucking peeking bitch and sitting behind cover camping. Hell nah.
Well, no shit he's staying in one place. He's using a fucking sniper rifle. Also, why do you care what his playstyle is? Fortifying a position works in Call of Duty, as does running and gunning. Each have their strengths, each have their weaknesses.
All the weapons feel like laser beams, LMGs handle like assault rifles. They severely misuse maps like Dome, which is meant for free-for-all and not 12v12.
And that's why it's fucking awesome. Did Modern Warfare 2019 misuse shipment when they put like fucking 20 people on it and let everybody go crazy? No, it's chaos. It's fun.
Well, I mean, it's kind of fucking annoying when I'm playing on shipment and then I get fucking spawn trapped. Personally, I'd much rather play Nuketown, Hijacked, or Rust. But yeah, I'll give it to you, that chaos is kind of fun.
It's the point of video games, to have fun. And also, I think Dome only goes up to 8v8, but maybe I'm wrong on that one. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's only 8v8.
Like, and Vanguard makes no attempt at trying to have teams coordinate and work together. And one of the reasons I've been turned off from grinding COD multiplayer is the skill gap. Now, before the Pick 10 system, every Call of Duty lets you have only one attachment. 2 if you got bling. So if a player using 2 attachments goes up against a player that has 0, the differences aren't so extreme. They're just big enough to make the player using the attachments feel more powerful and for the other player to want to grind for them. Enter Vanguard, where we run out of ideas and screw it, and give every gun 10 attachments because what the fuck is weapon balance anymore?
The most fun Call of Duty games did not have good balancing. Just look at Modern Warfare 2.
That's very subjective. If you like the chaos that Modern Warfare 2 provides, good for you. Maybe he doesn't. And personally, I much preferred the Call of Duty games that were better balanced. I'm probably going to get crucified for saying this, but I wasn't the biggest fan of Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. Modern Warfare 3 was a lot more balanced in that regard. Same goes for COD 4, World at War, Black Ops 1 and 2. All those games were fairly balanced for the most part. Sure, I mean, there were a few things that were overpowered, but it wasn't fucking insane.
Black Ops 2 had amazing balancing. Did we play the same fucking game? Dude, Black Ops 2 literally every single other week had the most overpowered gun in the game, constantly switching.
What the fuck are you even talking about? I played a shit ton of Black Ops 2 multiplayer in its heyday, and the only overpowered weapon I was aware of was the LSAT with the fucking target finder. Like, Black Ops 2 had really fucking good balancing. I have no idea what the hell Griffin is talking about.
Not to mention the aim assist on snipers was fucking busted. Like, bro, what was it? The DSR was literally so broken when it came to the auto aim, it like took them months to fix it. U generation with the 2 Siege added TDM Pog. That is actually a W. Be like the one thing I'd play in Siege, to be honest. And Necro 13 with the 2, his argument is old thing good, new thing bad. It's not even that. I think it's just he's almost looking for a reason to not like it. I think what happened is he played like maybe 5-6 hours of this game and just decided, you know what, time to make a video.
5 to 6 hours of playing a video game is plenty of time to figure out if you like it or not.
Get manhandled by people with 10 attachments when you have none. I don't feel inspired to grind the game's progression to access the fun mode. This is why the bundles and weapon blueprints are a thing, so you can spend money and just bypass the time it would normally take to progress. The game should be fun. That's what makes me want to grind it. It just seems like Call of Duty sacrifices so much of its identity and cool factor for the sake of progression and monetization, rather than make a video game that is fun, and that fun is what makes you continue to play. Vanguard's progression system and attachments are a crutch for gameplay that does not stand up on its own. You need the carrot on the stick to keep chasing because Call of Duty's core design is based around addiction, not enjoyment. At last, we arrive at the campaign, and I have so little energy remaining at this point, but let's give it a shot. The premise was interesting. You're part of a group of Spec Ops soldiers trying to assess.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even give a fuck about the campaign, so I'm just gonna skip that. Like, I'm probably never gonna touch it.
Oh, thank fucking God. This video is getting way too long anyway, and honestly, if he did comment on the campaign, it would probably be just as bad as his commentary on the zombies was, since he doesn't seem to know shit about anything about COD besides the multiplayer. But we got through it. Now I can finally put this stream behind me. If you manage to stick it out all the way to the end of this, then you are fucking awesome, and I love you. But anyways, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more, and tell me what you think of Griffin's mess. Anyways, that's it. Peace!